Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 52 of The Weird Turn Pro. I'm Mo Strummel in Nashville.
And I'm Jason Winfield in Lamont, PA. And this week we have Coltt Winter Lepley. And where are you at today, Coltt?
I'm in Bedford, Pennsylvania, Western PA.
Awesome. And most recently, where were you?
Most recently, I was in Boston, Mass. I go to Emerson College up there. So
awesome. That is its own little hike home, right?
Oh yeah.
Hey, before you start, I think you should show us just move a little bit so we can see the whole banner that you have behind you, just so people know what they're in for today. There you go.
Yeah, awesome. Because here's
banner of you.
That is that is a wonderful banner. And I have to say that if where your head sits most of the time, all people see is the F and the K. So I think we all know that.
Metaphor for the show, Jason. So
there you go.
That is awesome. So here's the deal. Welcome to the show, Coltt. I'm very happy you're here. But what we really like to do is get moving right into the music. So do you have a song you'd like to start off with?
Sure. It's I haven't I submitted this song I think last year for the Gems in the Rough contest for Gems on VHS. It's since been deleted. It was pretty low quality film on my end. Hopefully high quality songwriting content, you guys think. But it was inspired from a trip to Jim Thorpe, PA. If you guys have ever been there. It's one of the last real heavy mining communities. Obviously, I went to school in Johnstown, PA. Johnstown and Windber, the mining influence is really big there. So this is called Beulah, the Mountain Maiden, and she's a coal miner's wife. So I hope you enjoy it.
Awesome.
Beulah, mountain woman, won't you lay down your golden hair? Let those breaker boys see a maiden so fair. Beulah, sweet sparrow, won't you sing pretty Sarah all night long? Call the ghosts from Eureka back home. You're mountain maiden, you're the twinkle they see in my eye. You're precious angel, I love you till the day I die, and I'll keep you satisfied. Sweet Beulah, washerwoman, won't you hang my clothes on the line? Tend to the garden beneath that evergreen pine. You're old time picker, won't you play your dulcimer until you bleed? When we dance tonight, let you lead. You're mountain maiden, you're the twinkle they see in my eye. You're precious angel, I love you till the day I die. Keep you satisfied. Sweet Peoria. Peoria, the mine's collapsing, so say a prayer for one dog. Keep your hands folded until you hear me call. You're weeping widow, you have treated me so kind. Just let my body rest down in the mine. You're mountain maiden, you're the twinkle they saw in my eye. I'm your angel, I love you till the day I die. And I pray you're satisfied. Sweet Julia. Julia, cold country woman, won't you lay down your silver hair?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I had so many different things going through my mind as I followed you along that lifetime. I mean, seriously, a lifetime. That was beautiful. Hey,
Thank you.
beautifully written. Beautifully written. The story is unbelievable. The hearkening of your influences, which I want to get into after Mo talks, are all there and amazingly modern sounding. I mean, that's just my first take of what you just played for me. Mo, what do you think? I mean, because this is
Well, I think that you know, in the grand folk tradition, the mining song, I'm going to call it disaster song, but the mining, you know, something went wrong in the mine song is, you know, that's just part of our, especially from Pennsylvania, that's just part of our ethos there, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, if you're calling yourself a folk writer and you haven't written that song, right, or some version of it, you're probably, we're not going to believe you unless you have one of those.
you missed
Because
you missed 4 chapters in the book if you haven't
right,
written mine.
exactly. Because that's where, I mean, that's the country, that's the part of the country that I know the three of us are familiar with and come from. But it's you have to have one of those in your repertoire just because it's part of the American history. It's part of the American tapestry, or as Jason might say, the American quilt. So it's you know, and to be honest with you, I mean, if you've ever heard Slade Cleave's Lydia, that this song, you know, when I started, it's sort of in the same vein, and it's yeah, it's good. It's real good.
It's great.
Yeah.
You know, as I was listening, I really heard, you know, and it has a lot to do with with where you're from, the mountains of Pennsylvania and the mountains of Kentucky. You know, there's the similarity there is, I mean, I was at certain points, if I closed my eyes, I probably was thinking I was listening to Tyler Childers in as you were playing that song. Because the you have a similar vocal quality, but man, that is a great song. And you know, you nailed me right there on the mail pouch sign on the side of a barn when you said your all you when you sang the silver hair. It was like, oh man, you took it all the way through, and it was perfect. So I you know, that was a moving song, and thank you so much for sharing that, because that's
Thank you for the compliments. I'm going to do a lot of hitch. I don't know how to take them all the time, but I certainly you know, all the guys you mentioned, you know, I love those folks a lot. So I thank you very much.
Yeah, good song.
But yeah, you know, we talked briefly before everything started, so I could get a better sense of it. But you know, you really tapped into your love of history as you were singing that song and writing that song and making that real. How, I mean, I realize I'm not from Pennsylvania. I'm from the farmlands of open fields and patchwork, so it's a different thing for me. But you know, as you're just as a tie-in, where were you? I mean, you were in obviously eastern Pennsylvania in a mining town, but where did you go emotionally as you were making that? What caused? Where did the name come from? I mean, there's a big part of it.
Well, there's the jail in Jim Thorpe is kind of famous for there's a movie about it too with Sean Connery. It's the Molly
McGuire.
Yeah, yep. They were hanged there, and they have some miner pictures there too. And there was a miner's wife in one of these old black and white pictures, and it's not spelled Beulah, it's Beulia. And I thought, well, that's because a lot of people, and no offense to anybody that's out there watching this, Beulah, but if you know, that's maybe not the first pretty name you think of. But I thought the look on this woman's face, you know, they were in like a company camp, you know, wearing rags, just deep sunk eyes. And the caption was just Beulia, miner's wife. And there's a lot of communities in Eastern PA that you drive through, and there's a lot of front porch fireworks stands, and you know, it's depressed area, and you can't not feel it when you drive through. And that week I got home and I had to just to unpack it a little bit, because it's really heavy driving. You know, I was there on like a vacation, and you have to go through some of these places. I think we didn't do Centralia in the Yingling factory.
Oh yeah,
you know, but
yeah, it's definitely it's ingrained. Yeah.
So I might.
Yeah, that was great. It's a great song. It's a great song. And you know, now to hear where you were at that point, your trip at that point, you know, you're. Thank you. That's all I can say, because that's a great narration of what you went through. So, you know, and but as we like to do, we like to push through. So, what else do you have for us? Because you're here to share your music.
Sure. The next one I'm going to do, I'm going to let you guys unpack it. But I think I was kind of in the mind of Big Rock Candy Mountain a little bit. It's called Sunflower Creek. I hope you enjoy
a great
it.
title.
That is a great title.
a nickel, give me a dime, play my songs, if you might rhyme, then we can all go down. Put it down on me. I'll be swimming in the water down on Sunflower Creek. I prayed for religion, she wouldn't let me pray. Just go home until my judgment day, then we can all go down. Put it down on me. I'll be swimming in the water down on Sunflower Creek. Well, it's Sunflower Creek, all the trees stay green. People smile all the time, lay in the shade or the hot sunshine. Either one will do just fine. Well, it's Sunflower Creek, money don't exist, but if it's riches you see, jump on in, swim in the water down on Sunflower Creek. Made a little money, I worked all week. Gonna take my lady out and kiss her on the cheek. Oh, then we can all go down. Put it down on me. I'll be swimming in the water down on Sunflower Creek. I made a little money, I worked all week. Just sang that verse. I go down to the ballroom, buy another round, be walking crooked, then all over town, Lord, then we can all go down. Put it down on me. I'll be swimming in the water down on Sunflower Creek. Well, it's Sunflower Creek, all the trees stay green. People smile all the time, lay in the shade or the hot sunshine. Either one will do just fine. Well, it's Sunflower Creek, money don't exist, but if it's riches you seek, jump on Sunflower Creek. Well, it's Sunflower Creek, money don't exist, but if it's riches you seek, water down on Sunflower Creek. Jump on in, swim in the water down on Sunflower Creek.
Yeah, that's definitely actually that's a great song for pandemic time. Like it's like you've got a song about when things are right, like kind of the whole Big Rock Candy Mountain idea. When things aren't so right, you write that song about the things you think about. I don't know when you wrote it. I'm just saying it's like a great song that sort of says, hey, just remember everything. This is when it's going to be good.
There is a place out there where the sun is always shining, the water's always warm, the fish are biting, and the booze is flowing. However you want to look at it. That is, I mean, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And again, that just that puts you right in the right in the wheelhouse for another song that you better have in your repertoire that you've
as a
written,
folk singer.
because it's
But
just I think it's it's good. It's real good.
But and I mean let's there's a I mean you have your own storybook that you've already shared with us the first two chapters of a turn of the 20th century folk writer's life.
Mm-hmm.
The folk songs of the 20th century. I mean, you have them so well done and untouchable, but extremely traditional, and you would expect it to be right there in the anthology next to those songs that you're talking about when you say it. So kudos. I mean, that's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
Jason, I certainly appreciate that. I don't know. Did I lose you?
Yeah, we're getting a little breakup from you.
I think you might have
Colt.
reconnected to your
Yeah, to your Wi-Fi.
Century Wi-Fi.
Let's do Save Our Stages. Let's throw that
Yeah,
up, and we'll
we'll
talk
throw
about that for a second while we try to see if we can get him
You might
smoothed out a
want to
little bit.
reconnect, and we're going to talk about Save Our
Yeah,
Stages
we'll talk
right now.
about So I know that today we got great news that if you've been vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask. Obviously, there are going to be some situations and some businesses where you may have to do that, and we advise everyone to follow. Just do what you got to do to get by. But we want to remind everyone that during this time, most venues really struggled very hard to survive, and these two things that we have up on the thing have been instrumental in keeping a lot of places alive. The Save Our Stages and Drive the Music here in Nashville have been critical to keep the venues alive, and we hope that you'll continue to support the venues by going to the shows. Now that things are starting to look up, just stay safe. Make sure that when you can, you get out, you see the artists that have, that haven't been able to really perform. I follow a lot of artists, and they're all very excited because most of them have tour dates now. And I think we can talk to Coltt here in a second about, I
His
think
tour dates,
he's got some shows coming up, right? So maybe
Yeah,
this is a good segue into that. But so anything you can do to help, during the pandemic, we tried to go where we were allowed to go and do what we could and spend some money just to make sure that, the places we love were there when this was over. And so do what you can. Go ahead, you can lose that. Yeah. So we should just segue into that, I think. And you should talk about that.
So you're home from school,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you go to Emerson in Boston.
Yes.
And what is your area of focus?
I am well. Let me just, for all the people out there this is going to get an eye roll, so I have to preface. my undergrad is in communications in marketing and business. That's practice. Okay. Now I am at Emerson College getting my MFA in fiction.
Okay.
Which it all iron sharpens iron. It's I'm going for writing. And it was just a good opportunity. I submitted a sample to apply there. Never thought I'd get in, and I did. And it was just too good of an opportunity to pass up. So,
most definitely,
fantastic. Yeah,
hallowed grounds of literature up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is extremely awesome. But so you're home, and this is show season, right?
Yes, sir. I am booked solid. It starts this weekend. And until I go back in the fall, I got shows every weekend except a couple for a vacation. And I'm playing like 3 to 5 times a week. So
that is excellent.
Thank you.
Is excellent. I mean, I've been kind of seeing as you've added shows into your media. So that is awesome. It looks like there's some pretty cool places, especially for someone who plays what you play. I mean, I think you're unique in the the expanse of what you have and what you've shared with us so far exhibits that clearly. But I think you've got it should be a fun summer for you, and
Yeah,
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to talking to you in August to see how it all went because because this is a summer of celebration for a lot of people, and
absolutely.
you will be part of that celebration. I think it would be really cool to hear your perspective of what you saw when it's all done.
Yeah,
I think that would be awesome.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
Maybe we'll have to have him back on after he goes back to school, and we can hear the tales of the tour,
yeah.
and then also talk a little bit about how school's going up there, and that'll be fun.
sure.
So
Yeah,
I'll save my Boston songs for that because I have some.
that's a good
that's
idea.
that's a
Yes,
good idea.
absolutely.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
So where and this is personal interest only. Where are you at in the process of your MFA? It's a 3-year program, I'm assuming.
Yes, it's a 3-year. I just completed my second. I'll have one more, and just working on. I'm working on 2 novels, but short story collection is the goal when I get out of there to be on the way to being published. So
Excellent. That is
yeah,
excellent.
yes, thank you.
And I'm going to segue a little bit here on a conversation that we had separately, because you were talking about one of your instructors who's an excellent flat picker.
Absolutely.
Um, and
Yeah.
he's close friends with Dana Bourgeois, you said?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So my thesis chair, his name is Steve Yarbrough, and we had communicated before I ever had him or even knew he was an Emerson professor on a guitar Instagram chat kind of thing.
Okay.
And long story short, it ended up like coincidence. He teaches at Emerson. Wow, great. What in? The MFA program. It's kind of like one of those, like a life. So he's great. He is a fine guitar player generally. He's a really great flat picker, I think. Great bluegrass picker and really knowledgeable guy. He's written, if he's watching, I'm going to get it wrong. I think he's at 7 novels. I want to say 4 short story collections. And he did a nonfiction piece on Larry McMurtry's The Last Picture Show.
Oh, wow.
Very cool guy.
Yeah. And an amazing topic. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I could talk to you for hours about that one because it feels like home.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I just want to tag this in because I want to make sure we're talking about it. You have an arrangement of some kind with a luthier in your hometown, right?
Perfect. Yeah, this one.
There we go.
Yeah,
Choice, Jason.
I played for this song. This is Mike Schaefer guitar. I don't know if you can see the headstock there.
Yeah, I see it.
Nice.
And I picked. This is all hand-picked appointments. And I didn't go too fancy. I mean, it's got the abalone inlay and some of the cool fancier things on it. But I just, I wanted just a workhorse.
Right.
And Mike's a great guy. He's out of Bedford County, Salemville, just over the mountain, as we would say here. But it's he's got all kinds of stuff available. He does, obviously all the standard sizes. He's got the dreads and the OMs and orchestra models and grand concerts, kids guitars, and you can find his information on SchaeferGuitars.com. He's a phone call guy, and he was a cabinet maker before this.
That's awesome.
But this thing's great. It's been to shows with me, and I had a post up. I don't know if you remember or not. A couple months ago, it might have been before we talked. I hold it up against any of my guitars. I have Martins and Gibsons and this, that, the other. Played them all, and it has a very unique sound. It's very balanced, I think.
Cool. Well,
Good to hear.
so what's the song you play on it?
So one of the songs I recorded for the Adapt sessions is the Bandito is the name.
Okay.
And I grew up watching spaghetti westerns, and it was just like, I think I just finished Pale Rider maybe. And I thought, well, I could do that.
That's just take some red paint.
Yes. So this is the Bandito, and it's kind of like a spaghetti western in a song.
Nice.
That's excellent.
Grave digger gonna dig a grave long and tall for a man that stands like me, tall in the saddle, makes bones rattle when I'm riding down the street. Preaching gonna pray, gonna save my soul, and an angel's gonna burn her wings. I'm sure damned in the master plan, sure as a mockingbird sings. 'Cause I'm a bandito that rides on the prairie, searching for women in gold. They want to kill me, but I'll never die. They're scared of me, I'm told. Well, I'm forgetting the second verse all of a sudden. All right, where were we? Just because I'm on the show, guys. Well, I robbed some banks, blew up some trains, stole horses from the Union. I spend my money in brothels. People claim that I'm not human. Posse caught me in Laredo, took me by surprise. Before I let them cuff me, I killed me a few in reply. 'Cause I'm a bandito that rides on the prairie, searching for women in gold. They want to kill me, but I'll never die. They're scared of me, I'm told. Now I'm sitting inside a four cold wall, staring at the ceiling. Got nothing to do but thinking here. It's a sad, lonely feeling. I think of the men I shot. They didn't have a chance. But when I pulled my trigger, Lord, I watched their bodies dance. 'Cause I'm a bandito that rides on the prairie, searching for women in gold. They want to kill me, but I'll never die. They're scared of me, I'm told. Well, the sheriff's gonna build a gallows tall enough for me to hang. Maybe he'll hire a firing squad and send me away with a bang. I'll get no pardon, I'll get no prayers. You ready to watch me die? 'Cause I'm the damnedest bandit you ever seen. Now look me in the eye. 'Cause I was a bandito that rode on the prairie, searching for women in gold. They might have killed me, but I'll never die. They're scared of me, I'm told. They call me a hero, they call me a villain. That's what the papers showed. But the legend of the riding bandito is one that you'll forever know.
The guitar sounds great. And actually, yeah, actually, it's like it really sounds good for that song too.
Oh yeah,
It's
Yeah.
not like You know when they say on like an album review they had jangly guitars, but like it's the good,
Yeah.
you know. And
It's the good jangle.
Yeah.
That is a great description. That is a great. No, that song is really, really cool. And yes, thank you for giving us the vision of the Tipperillo and Clint Eastwood in a poncho.
sure, anytime.
I gotta tell you something real quick. So you said that, as you say over there, over the mountain. So my wife is originally from Lilly, just outside of Altoona.
Yeah.
You may have gone past it if you're on near Johnstown, right? And
Yes.
And over there they say we're going down the mountain. Going down the mountain. Yeah.
Down the mountain.
Down the mountain.
Down the mountain. Yeah.
It's like down the mountain.
Okay, that's enough.
We love each other.
Here now.
I don't.
Every Mo's over there where they like go play on the water.
Yeah. There's no
Water,
room to
yeah.
talk.
So I just want to mention first how other people can be on the show. We're always interested in hearing from songwriters and having you on the show to play some music. So it's real easy. You just go to weirdprose.com and you fill out the form, and we'll reach out to you after we get your form. The form from you. It's that easy. So that's all you really have to do. And we love having people on. Today is a folk show, and next week it may be a little more poppy, and the week after that it's country. So we're interested in hearing what you've got, and so are our viewers. I just want to mention that a lot of the usual suspects are watching right now, and I know I'm going to leave people out, but Stanton Fleming is watching.
Oh yeah,
he's here every week. Cameron Jackson is watching. Dan Newby has hit a like button,
awesome.
So he's
cool.
been watching. So I just want to say thanks to all of those folks for sticking with us and watching the show also, because and I know there are others out there that I'm not mentioning, but that's what's popping up on my screen. So I'm saying hi and we're saying thanks. So, but these are the, Coltt, these are the people, they want to hear exactly what you're talking about and talking about your music and playing the songs. And I'm actually somewhat surprised that, that many people were interested when we started doing this, because I thought it was just going to be Jason and myself, and we were going to, kind of indulge ourselves, but other people have been watching, and it's a lot of fun to hear from them and see that they like it. But,
and we've been blessed. The one thing that we can say is accounting blessings of what the pandemic brought was us an opportunity that we would not have had otherwise, because we saw each other 1 or 2 nights a week playing together. He moved to Nashville, and then everything shut down.
Sure.
That afforded us an opportunity to continue figuring out how we could continue to play together at least once a week.
Yeah.
And talk to each other, talk about music, which we both love, and that's where we find our common bond. And amazingly, there are so many people that follow the show on the basis that they are true, and I'm going to mimic what he just said, truly interested in the story of the song. Mm-hmm. That in fact, so many times now we get songs on the radio, they process through on the radio, and you never know what's behind them. And having these moments with you, which is special to us because I love history. Mm-hmm. I know Mo loves history. You're playing things that are directly out of the songbook that we listen to be who we are today, mm-hmm. although they're new. And being able to hear your story along the way is extremely special. And that's what this is about.
I just want to say thank you guys really fast for having me. I think these kinds of things are not only really great opportunities for folks like me, but it's just as important to have these things documented, because a lot of folks, there's so many really talented songwriters, especially even in my local scene. I could just sit here and name names off, and it's just cool to have a reference point of folks that
make sure you give us their emails.
They will, because I have a lot of friends that deserve something like this, and there's just a lot of really talented folks I'm lucky to be around. And maybe can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So similar to like the Outhouse or one of these like Gertie's Folk City or something. In Roaring Spring, PA, there was a club called in a restaurant called the Hungry Duck, and they started having songwriters nights, and it was just like a magnet of talent, and people came out of the woodwork, and it basically became song workshop, and I met some of my best friends there, and I'm just amazed at how many talented songwriters are in the Bedford, Altoona, Johnstown, Indiana, sphere, State College, that whole section. But the Hungry Duck was kind of like our outhouse, and it was kind of like the church, really. And this place hosted Kinky Friedman one time, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
That's cool.
Wow. That is good. And we are, Jason just talked about history, and this is a good chance for me to flow into the next thing. So when we have songwriters on, one of the things we like to do is play a game with them called Hometown. And it's actually time to play that game with you right now.
Okay.
And I think you're going to do really well because you mentioned your love of history and all of that. But at least two of these questions are history questions about Bedford. So what we do is every week we ask 3 questions of the songwriter. The idea is that you need to get 2 right. And if you get 2 right, you're going to win a prize, which is one of our very own mugs.
Nice.
Stay weird, turn
Hard
pro.
to see there, but it says "Stay Weird, Turn Pro," and it's got our logo on it.
Very cool.
Comes with a cap and a straw, just in case you have falling acorns in your backyard.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. So we're going to ask you 3 questions about Bedford, and Jason is going to keep score, and you have to get at least 2 right to win the prize.
Okay.
So are you ready to play My Hometown?
I guess. I hope.
Okay. So the first question is kind of a throwaway. I always think this one's the easy one. What county is Bedford in?
Well, it depends who you ask, but it is Bedford County. But
that is correct. It's Bedford County. That was a trick question. That's I like it when the county is the same as the town because it's like a trick question. Now, here's a history question. During the 19th century, a couple of high-end resorts popped up in Bedford because of what natural attraction?
Oh, our world famous medicinal spring water, Mo.
There you go. There you go. So some guy, I can't remember his name right now off the top of my head. Do you know his name? What was his name?
John Anderson.
Yes. So he drank out of these mineral springs, and his headaches went away, and he started to all of his problems, and word got out, and suddenly you had, I think there were at least 2 resorts that got built there, and they attracted like the wealthy to Bedford. Yeah, there is one. I guess is the one still exists there?
Bedford is you can pick, and I don't care who knows this or not. You can pick a Bedford Springs tourist out on the sidewalk, walking, and but the other medicinal springs was the other medicinal springs was the Cleviate Springs, which is about 2 miles from my house. And, that was a big, I think there was another one too. There's White Sulphur Springs, and I think there might've been one more, but it was the summer White House for James Buchanan.
Yes, exactly. I did read that. So the nice thing is when I do the research for this part of the show, I actually learn a few things. So it's actually, and I've been through there a million times. I've seen the springs. I've seen the resort that's still there, but I've never actually read about it until now. So thanks for introducing me to Bedford.
Sure, putting it on the map.
Jason. Yes, Jason. What is the score?
We have 2.
Jason.
We have a winner.
So he has one, but now tell him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. We need one more question answered, and you will be among the very few have a perfect score.
Yes.
And
So
you will be, we've had two guests who
Males.
three guests who've actually gotten perfect scores.
Okay.
Two of which were females and one male.
All right.
You tie it up.
So the gender
so
wars
you have
are
an
on.
opportunity to tie it up. Yes. All right.
Okay.
And this one's also a history question.
Yeah.
In 1794, the Espy House in Bedford became the headquarters of George Washington and 13,000 troops he brought to Bedford to quell what incident?
You ready?
Yep,
The Whiskey Rebellion.
that is correct. So for those of you who, and almost everyone has heard of the Whiskey Rebellion, very few people know anything about it except the name, right? That's true. But this is where it was basically stopped because George Washington brought way more troops than he actually needed in to make a statement, because he felt that the fledgling Union was at risk, and the French and British were hoping it was going to happen, so that they could get some territory back. But
my understanding on that is that then those people that didn't want to have to deal with this fledgling nation all moved to Kentucky, and that's why we have the Bourbon
Road. That's something I always say is that if the people around us in North Appalachia would understand that our mountains and moonshine are just the same as the ones they were singing about in Kentucky, we'd be dangerous.
Yeah. Well, they were exactly the same, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And as an added little bit of yes, he is a winner. He is a perfect score, 1 of 4. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm going to throw a little bit of extra trivia in there. As I was doing research on my family, there was one DeVore family that mustered into the Union Army, the Pennsylvania Rifles, which would have been my ancestors. So some of the first individuals who were actually the first strike in the history of the United States was waged by the Pennsylvania Rifles, who were volunteers who did not receive any compensation for their fighting against the forces of Britain. And when they reached Valley Forge, they said, "Screw you, I'm going home until you give me something."
Sure. Not the government not giving the people.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to give you a little break to get off screen for a little bit.
Yep.
To take care of the things musicians often take care of off screen. And we're going to let Jason give us a song. Jason, what are you going to play for us today?
I was going to play Ochre Coke today because this is as close as I can get to a folk song. So, and it's a story. So welcome to my ghost story. It was midnight by the bonfire on the Carolina coast, drinking dark rum from a bottle, toasting Blackbeard's ghost, contemplating conquest on Queen Anne's revenge, and knowing that his treasure buried somewhere in the sand. Been a good week with a few friends, trying to drink the Jolly Roger dry. Was our last night by the seaside, won't be back for quite a while. So somewhere after last call, we stumbled to the point of a teacher's hole, needed to say farewell to the man of the hour before we started our voyage home. And the water turned to white foam as it crashed into the shore. And a legend was born when the pirate died just off this coast, you know. Some say his spirit roams this stretch when the moon is right. Davy Jones released a ghost on an Ocracoke blue night. From the darkness he appeared, walking alone along the strand. I called out, I said howdy, raised a bottle in my right hand. He said, I thank you kindly, don't mind if I oblige. You can't find a cure to what ails you on the other side. He said his name was Eddie, he could teach us many tales. How his eyes lit up when he spoke about the plunders. He said I for a while drained my bottle, then he smiled. Said I gotta move on before the sun starts rising. And the water turned to white foam as it crashed into the shore. And a legend was born when the pirate died just off this coast, you know. Some say his spirit roams this stretch when the moon is right. Davy Jones released a ghost on an overcoat night. And the water turned to white foam as it crashed into the shore. And a legend was born when the pirate died just off this beach, you know. Some say his spirit roams this stretch when the moon is right. David Jones released a ghost on an overcoat blue night. Doc. It was midnight by a bonfire on the Carolina coast, drinking dark rum from a bottle, toasting blackbeard's toast.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time to re-record that song, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I got to sit
Because
down and do that.
you've got it to a good spot, and I think it's time for you to re-record that. So definitely get on
All right.
that.
Okay, I'm on it.
No, wait, Jason, I really enjoyed that. You're getting the sailor and the ghost story in there, and you're definitely you don't get more folk than that. So
No,
There you go.
That's
See,
true.
that's
Thank you.
high
Thank you.
praise right there.
beautiful imagery in there, by the way. And
Oh, thank you.
Good. I think it's time for another Coltt song, though, don't you?
Yep, that's Coltt with two T's and one P.
One P.
You know, that's usually if you've ever watched the old Minnie Pearl Opry shows, and she says, "I'm glad to be here," you know. And I always start out with, "Hello, folks. My name is Coltt Winter Lepley. Coltt with 2 T's. Winter like the season. Lepley like myself. I'm just glad to be here tonight." And nobody read it. Doesn't register anyway.
That's good.
Well, it's the price tag. You know, I often tease my wife when she's first putting something on to wear somewhere, and it still has the tag on it. Somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
Minnie. She's like, where is it?
That's good. But yes, sir. I'm trying to decide which one to do next. I have one called it's new, and I screw it up a lot because it's new, but I might try it just because, Jason, you just played that. This is called yeah, we'll try it. If not,
We like new ones, so good.
I like new ones, and
I'll
I
go-
screw up everything, so don't worry about it.
if I'm royally screwing it up, I'll just go into another one. But this is called Joe Good, Sailor Story.
Awesome.
Ah.
Name's Joe Good, and I was born on the sea. I was a whaler and a sailor by trade. Throw our harpoons and bang wooden spoons, make sure that our quotas are made. My whole life story's been carved into scrimshaw. The ocean has been a good friend. But old Davy Jones, he sits on his throne and waits to collect at the end. Goodbye, Gloucester, goodbye. I am bound for to die. This old wooden ship just ain't gonna make it to port on time this time. New good times when our nets was full. We had wine and our wages was high. But the good days must go and the hard times will come, like water at night with the tide. Then I heard a great rumble and the mast they did tumble and the rigging gave way from the wind. When she did capsize, we swam for our lives. Never worse shape I was in. Goodbye, Gloucester, goodbye. I ain't bound for to die. This old wooden ship just ain't gonna make it to port on time this time. Sucked in the ocean, it filled up my lungs, and I sank to the bottom of the sea. Here I still lie from the day that I died, the fish, Mr. Jones, and me. So I walk on the water and guide the great ships from the rocks and the waves and the gales. Patch up your stern and swab the deck clean, and fix all the holes in your sails. My name is Joe Good and I haunt the high seas. I was a whaler and a sailor by trade, and I spend my time just scanning the horizon, searching for souls to save. Goodbye, Gloucester, goodbye. I am bound for to die. This old wooden tub just ain't gonna make it to port on time. This time, this time. Goodbye, Gloucester, goodbye. I am bound for to die. This old wooden ship just ain't gonna make it to port on time this time. La 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 la.
Holy crap, that's a great song.
Wow, that's a really good song.
Wow. So you shared us a Boston song a little early.
I did. I had to, I think, and I'm going to do another one for you. But I got more. Don't worry.
But let me ask you a question. Have you played that up there yet?
No, I haven't. I'd like to.
Holy
Put
crap.
up there.
You got to find a good sailor's bar to go in and play that song.
Mm-hmm.
People will fall off their stools.
So when do you go back to school?
I go back in end of August.
Into August. I'm going to reach out to you because I'm going to be up there at the end of September for a wedding.
Oh, perfect.
So I want to touch base and see how you're doing individually at that point. I'm sure I'm going to see you over the summer because after what I've listened to today, I'm going to be busy chasing you around Western Pennsylvania.
Come up, and if you do come up, I'll I'll show you all the good oyster spots and all the cheap beer spots. So don't worry.
No. Well,
Outstanding.
I'll be in family in tow, so my ability for oysters and cheap beer are probably going to be limited, but
Hey,
we'll work something out.
Can always sneak out.
Yeah.
No,
that's a great song. That is
talk about imagery. Jeez,
Yeah.
I'm just going to put my guitar away now. You capture
really good.
You capture so much.
Thank you.
You capture so much. Wow. That's all I'm going to say is wow. But no, that was really cool. Really cool. And they're doing a good job on you up there working on your imagery with words. So
thank you. I appreciate it. Well, and that's just like that song kind of came from the similar places Yulia did, just because you go up there and I actually haven't been to Gloucester yet. I know the Sailors Monument is there, but I've been to Rockport, which is at the north end of Massachusetts, and you get the same thing. And certain spots in Boston, you can't walk through Boston and not feel some history.
Yeah.
And,
well, I don't know if you're feeling history, or I tend to fall to that world of actually feeling not the history. Well, I guess it's the history, but it's actually feeling the spirits that are walking there with you all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In those places, when you're in a historic place, that a city that's as old as Boston and the regions, and Europe is the same.
Yeah,
you can feel the folks there with you, and it's amazing that you can actually capture their stories the way you do.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice.
Thank you.
Let's get to another
one in. Yeah.
Okay. This is gonna be it's gonna be another Boston song, but that's okay. I have another. I won't play this one next time. When I first moved up there, fellas, I'm a good old boy from Bedford, PA, and I hated it when I first moved up there. So this was my first week's take on living in Boston. It's called City Living. Sirens keep me up at night as the train winds its songs upon the rails. As I feel myself start to fall asleep, their lonely, lovely harmonies never fail. Marijuana in the air, rising up from the vent downstairs. City life has got its ways about it. Drunkards sitting on the stoop, lovers laughing on the roof. It's unlike any life I've ever known. City living, breathing in that smoky yellow air. City living, folks around here don't really seem to care. They keep us steady walking, they don't listen when you're talking, with the plastic in their ears and their nose up in the air. Sidewalks full as Ferris wheel lines, neon lights like ballroom signs, a country miles, half a city block. Everybody walks so fast like summer ants from a looking glass, trying not to burn and trying to stay alive. City living, buildings rising up into the air. City living, arm and a leg for public transit fare. But these people keep a walking, they don't listen when you're talking, with the music in their ears and their nose up in the air. We don't look around at strangers unless you like the danger. Look down if you've got to look at all. Homeless sleeping on the ground, shake their cans, tribal sounds. But man, I wish that I could help them. Oh, city living, breathing in that smoky yellow air. City living, cleaning up your roommate's bathroom hair. Fellas, since I've learned to keep a steady walking. I don't give a shit when people are talking. I'm plastic in my ears my nose up in the air. Sirens keep me up at night as the train winds its songs upon the rails. As I feel myself start to fall asleep, their lonely, lovely harmonies never fail.
That is awesome.
Oh yeah.
And we follow this up. We close it. You know, wow. Have you been to the Guthrie Center? I mean, just because
I would love to. I would love to. It's on my list of things to do.
Yeah,
I've never been west of Indiana.
Oh no, the Guthrie Center out west, Massachusetts, Arlo's Church.
Oh no, I have not. I guess I could hit that up potentially.
Yeah.
I don't keep a car up there, but I would love to do that.
Yeah, because that's, I mean, the tongue-in-cheek respect of that particular song screams of, you know, Arlo's work and Arlo's covers of Alan Lomax's work, and that whole new folk that came out of the late 60s and early 70s.
Thank you.
That is, you know, those are the songs that, you know, my father would say, here, you got to listen to this, and then he would explain to me what each little step was along the way, like the MTA song that Mo has played when we do cover shows and different pieces. So thank you. That's a fun song, and it's, I mean, clearly heartfelt, and it's the lesson learned of being in an urban environment, and I've walked that walk.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, in your time up in Boston, how has your songwriting changed at all from being there as opposed to being in Bedford?
Well, I don't know so much if my approach has changed. I think when I write songs, I think Tom Waits said it best. They're just floating around in the ether, and when you get the moment, you got to make time and write it down. And I don't ever sit down to write them. Like if I'm inspired or something pisses me off, I'll write it. But I do think I'm thankful for the new experiences up there. Some of the folks I really love are like Phil Oakes and Dave Van Ronk, and they're guys, and it's given me new things to write about, new life experiences, and different kinds of folks, and so I'm thankful for that. It's opened up a little bit for sure.
Right. It's weird because I write like you write most of the time. I'm just, something hits me, you know, I write notes down and eventually I go back to them, and I'm, you know, but I never really, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not I'm not disciplined enough to really like sit down every day and write. And and lots of times, you know, it's just not inspiring. And that's tough being in Nashville, where, you know, everybody goes to work at 9 o'clock in the morning to write, you know, and that's what they do. And they do it every day. And, you know, they write with 3 other people. So it's tough in Nashville to be that kind of writer, because people are like, why are you not writing with other people? And the answer is, because I don't like it. You know, it's not, to me, that's an assembly line factory. You know, and I've just never really gotten into it. But
it takes away,
you know,
takes away from that craftsman movement of
and I think
songwriting.
Exactly. It's like creating, it's like hand making a guitar or running it through, you know, an assembly line. You know,
I mean, I would like to jump on. Sorry to interrupt. Why don't you say what you were going to say?
No, I was just gonna basically shit on Top 40 Radio real fast. So you go ahead.
No. I want to see that.
We're okay with that.
I was very intrigued by Mo's question, because, like I said, I traveled to Atlanta, then I drove through Nashville last Thursday, and then I drove further north up to home. So I went through Appalachia, like almost one end to the other. then cut back through and cross the eastern Tennessee mountains. And then when I hit Southern Illinois, which is where my home is, that's where the sounds of my youth are. And it's train engines and it's wide open spaces. And it dawned on me as I hit that space, because as I left Atlanta, I turned on the Bristol Sessions radio on Spotify so I could just hear, some natural, just old sounds from places. And when I realized what the open chord strumming of some of my songs is that open space that I grew up in, where the train whistle doesn't blow, because there ain't nothing near it that's going to get hit. By that point, cities here and towns here, townships and civilization in Pennsylvania is about 20 miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start moving on the other side of Ohio, it's 50 to 100 to further, because there was transportation was different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easier to walk on a flat land than it is to try to get to the other side of the mountain or down the mountain, or however it works. So that whole process was it was interesting to me, and that was why Mo's question was interesting. And I noticed a difference a little bit in the rhythms that you use and the patterns that you use between songs that were about here and the mountains of Pennsylvania and the meter of Boston, or the meter of the sea. And it's an interesting take. And it was just something that I noticed. So
you're saying where you come from, you can watch your dog run away for a couple of days?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, here, if I let my dog run away here, there's a bear that's right there. He's going to take care of it.
Somebody once told me that up in Saskatchewan, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's so funny."
Yeah. Well, the roads where I come from only adjust to true north, and it's like a right angle turn.
Yeah.
They just readjust to true north, and they move over 20 feet when you hit the county line. So you get this.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we should do one more before we get out of here. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I have one more planned. This one.
Oh, and I want to mention, before I let you go, I want to mention that we do have your tip jar up right now. And anybody, if you've enjoyed the show, it's all because of Coltt. So you should drop something in the tip jar and,
show your appreciation.
That's what, down here in Nashville, that's what we play for. So, that's the way we do it on the show here.
Well,
I think pickle jar right there.
I thank you guys for having me. Certainly, not Mo, I'm going to fight you here. Not just me on the show. You guys do a really cool thing, and thank you. And I can't wait to see some friends on here. And, I've watched some episodes before. It's really entertaining, and you guys are doing a really good, cool thing here. And thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
This last one is it's near and dear to me. It's been good to me in the interweb world, in our area, and I'm sure Nashville as well. And Jason, you might know as well. Western PA, Central PA has been especially hard hit with the opioid crisis, and this song was inspired by a number of folks in my life who conglomerated to make the main character here, and it's called Crack Cocaine. And there's a number of drugs referenced in it, and a number of true stories from a number of people. And I hope you guys, not to end on a somber tone at the end, but it's a medley of my hit, as Townes Van Zandt would say.
How perfect to throw out a Townes quote right there. Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. Here we go. This is it's Crack Cocaine. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. He's got nobody else left to blame but the man and the cops and the women that he lost, and the poison all running through his veins. My best friend's in jail for loving the needle. Nobody wanted to help him when we were able. A black bottom spoon and a cheap trip to the moon. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. My best friend keeps asking me for money. Phantom of a man with a story. There's a father and a brother and a son to his mother. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. He's got nobody else left to blame but the man and the cops and the women that he lost, and the poison all running through his veins. My best friend's in jail for stealing copper. He said he loved his mom, but he just robbed her. Altered by some shit that you can get behind the counter. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. My best friend, he sold all his guitars. Quit playing songs and singing late in bars, making up excuses for the bad things he chooses. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. My best friend's in jail for crack cocaine. He's got nobody else left to blame but the man and the cops and the women that he lost, and the poison all running through his veins. My best friend keeps dying more each day. My best friend keeps dying more each day. I wouldn't recognize him, look my way. My best friend keeps dying more each day. My best friend, he passed away this morning. But I wish I was surprised, but we had a warning. Now he's free to be himself, the one that I keep on my shelf. My best friend is dead from crack cocaine. My best friend is dead from crack cocaine. The house always wins the dealer's game. There's no more coming down when you're 6 feet underground with a concrete rock carved with your name. My best friend is dead from crack cocaine. So a good happy one to end on.
Whoa.
Yeah, but
I mean-
I'm sitting here thinking it belongs in the same. We
We
both hit on the same thing. We're sitting here texting to each other, and we hit on the exact same thing because I'm sitting here thinking, wow, this is as good as any John Prine song.
and I sent him a text
that I
saying
heard.
Sam Stone, but
Yeah.
better.
Well, that's
And
what people say a lot. They say they're reminded of Sam Stone, and John Prine is definitely one of my biggest influences. And thank you. I mean, that's high praise, man. Thank you very much.
that song, if
Yeah.
anybody from Oh Boy Records is watching, that song probably belongs on there. So just
that's it.
give it a thought.
Frank,
That-
it is
I love Bill McKinney, love John Prine. So
Yeah.
the frankness of that song is chilling. There's you can't be from small town America right now and not have that be something that touches you, because
Exactly.
it's every small town, rural towns where the old farmer whose kids have gone and they're trying to protect their barn because they've got the chemicals.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
the whole thing is there, and it's a somber song, but thank you for writing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for capturing that part of what Americana is right now. We've
Yep.
forgotten about a lot of it. It's still going on, but we've had other things to think about as a nation, as a media, and as everything else.
Yeah,
Yep.
So
backseated, as as like you said, more pressing things came, and but it never went away, and a lot of people are falling back into it now. So
Exactly. Well, Colt, we really appreciate you being with us today. Thank you so much. We're going to check back in with you, I think, once you get
Great.
back up to Boston, for sure, and maybe have you back on at that point, for some Boston songs and maybe some sea shanties or something like that you've you've got in
I
the
love
songbook.
so that'd be great.
Yeah. So, and to the folks that have tuned in today, thank you so much for being back. We will be here next week again. Same weird channel, same weird time,
same weirdos.
same weirdos. And just remember, Cole, I want you to stick around for 5 minutes after we go off the air, just to get some information and stuff and wrap up. But for those of you that are out there, remember, as Hunter S. Thompson wrote, when the going gets weird,
The weird turn pro.
we'll see you all next week. Thanks
Have a
a lot.
great week, everybody. Love you guys.